Put it on live chat. You can close it first. I'll put this back on.
Close what? Oh. Hi y'all, this is Charity, F.R.O.G Crochet, and our devotion today is love, encouragement, and gratitude. I give thanks to my God for every remembrance of you. Philippians 1:3. Hi Keith, welcome in. God blessed me with a loving, God-honoring grandmother. In so many ordinary ways, she taught me to love Jesus, to thank him for all his abundant blessings, and to share his love with others through kind, encouraging acts. One day in my 8th year, while spending the summer with Mama at my grandparents' small North Georgia farm, the doorbell rang. Mama opened the door and found a frail, dirty young girl with bare feet standing on the porch holding a soiled kitchen cloth. As I watched my grandmother's reaction to the child, I learned a lesson I've remembered for 62 years. Mama reached for the dish towel. "Thank you so much," she told the girl. "How did you know I needed that dish towel at this very moment?" Mama dug deep into her apron pocket, withdrew some money, and placed it in the girl's hand. "That's for the dish towel," she said. She reached again into her pocket, pulled out more money, and put it in the child's hand. "And this money is just for you." The child smiled, turned, and walked down the road. Mama returned to the kitchen, flipped over the breaded sliced okra sizzling in the skillet, creamed the potatoes in the mixer, and lifted cornbread from the oven. My grandmother came from the garden, set some ripe tomatoes on the table, and ate a hearty lunch. Mama and I never talked about the girl or the kitchen cloth. We didn't need to. Some lessons of love, encouragement, and gratitude are taught with no words needed. Our prayer today is, Lord, please show me how to be kind and appreciate others. And for a deeper walk, read Philippians chapter 1, verses 9 through 11. Okay, are you going to sit there the whole time that way?
Nah. It's hard to breathe like that.
Okay, hopefully I don't lose my... All right.
It's really hard to breathe like that.
The last time I showed the temperature blanket was I had done up to January, or I'd got all of January done. So there's the divider for January. And that was the rest of from this here to this stitch marker, if I could find it there, is the rest of that week. And then I got the second week done. I haven't done any of it for this week yet, but I will, because it's been a busy week and still trying to kind of recuperate from the stomach stuff. So Monday, I was trying to get my sleep kind of straightened out from all that.
Still failing.
It threw my sleep off really bad. And was it yesterday? Yes, that was yesterday. We went and stayed with her grandfather while our grandmother went shopping. And other projects that I'm working on. I was so excited for this one. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I am doing the crochet along for Spring, the fiber enthusiast, on her Congolese poncho. And Miss Kitty liked it so much, she wanted me to make one for her. And so this is hers. This is the first part. To make her smaller so it'll fit her, I'm using a much thinner yarn. I'm using a 1-weight. And I'm using a much smaller hook as well. So it made the first part of it much smaller. This one's hers. Gray here. And then there's a really light pink up here. You can't really see it here. Maybe when we get further along, might be able to see it a little bit. But it's different shades of purples. And some pink, kind of pinky purple colors. But the other one was just gray. And so we started out with that one. And this one's kind of a pinky purple, weird kind of dusty rose, and that looks great in the camera.
I think it's supposed to be just like a really light lavender.
It looks like a dusty rose color to me, but
to me it looks like a very light lavender.
You want to hold that. And this really one soft. Is mine. And I had gotten this yarn a while back. Let's see, which one's the front? Which one's, I think this is the back. I was getting ready to show you all the back part. This one's mine. And see, Miss Kitty, if you'll hold yours up, how much smaller yours is compared to that. And this is just rounds 1 through 20 on this.
Boing, 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 boing.
And for mine, I am using Caron Skinny Cake. And the colorway Buttermints. These were a discontinued color from Michaels. And I've got 2 that I picked up. And then I got 1 in the Happy Meal. So I hope that 3 will be plenty for this because it's a pretty good size poncho. And then hers, I'm using, I think it's Yarn Bee. You want to get the thing for it?
Yeah, someone saying hi. Yeah, it's Yarn Bee.
Hi, Newfie, Grandma. Yeah, hers is the Yarn Bee pigment fibers, and it's called Lavender Days. And
I love the name.
We're using this one right here. That was the first one, and then I jumped down to this one. This will be your next color. And then this one we'll do, and then we'll jump to this one, and then do that one last, and probably repeat it again because I got another one if I need more for hers. But this was on clearance last year's summer clearance, and I got like 3 of these. And how many yards does it say? 630 yards total for all of these. But it's supposed to be a huge poncho mandala thing, so I can't wait to see hers. I think it's going to be really pretty. Purple's one of her favorite colors. Purple, pink, and yellow. And this one here, when I seen it at my Skinny Cake one, and I've been holding on to it, but when I seen it, I just loved the colors. And I've held on to them. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to make with it. And then when I seen Spring's poncho, I was like, I know the perfect yarn that I'm going to use for it. I've been holding on to these. I got 3 of them for it. So, and another thing that I'm working on, and I know I've been procrastinating because I've got to get this done by Wednesday. But it's something that I'm making for Crystal, testing out her pattern for Nellie the goat. Or no, what does she call it? Nellie the Newfoundland or something? I don't know. It's a goat pattern. Anyway, I can't remember the whole thing, but I got that done. I got to do the ears, and I got the body, the neck, and this will go here somehow or another, like this. And I've been procrastinating on sewing it together because I hate sewing things together. I love doing Crystal's, the Yearny Chicken Crazy Cat Lady. I love doing her amigurumis, but I hate sewing things together. I gotta get it done Wednesday, and I will get it done. I was gonna do 2 before her thing because I wanted to try out because she's got where you could do the girl or the boy with horns. I'm just gonna do the girl without the horns. So, but this is what I've got so far. I got to do the ears, the legs, and then the little tail. Of course, you see, I have not sewed a thing yet, but it will get done. Even if I have to stay up till wee hours in the morning to get it done on Wednesday. Because I kind of did that with her. What was it? The Cardinals?
Yeah.
Yeah. I tested her cardinal pattern and I was up till way up early in the morning. I think I stayed up all night working on it and got it done the very day that it was due to be done. That early in the morning. I got a finished object. I finished that prayer shawl that I was working on. And this is, well, that's the bottom. Sorry, y'all. This was the top. Yeah. And that's the bottom.
And I've been bonked in the face.
I put tassels because I didn't want to weave in tails.
And I'm still being whacked in the face.
Sorry. It has been washed. Uh-oh. Pull some of these fuzzies off.
I shall eat the fuzzies. You're going to completely ignore me.
You don't want to eat the fuzzies.
Eat the fuzzies.
I didn't dry. I let it air dry, but
I still got some fuzzies.
yeah, it's got fuzzies all over it. But oh well. It smells like baby powder. As I washed it.
It really does.
I washed it in baby soap and I used the Drift scent additive beads in it as well. And hopefully we don't get too much wood smoke or the smoke from the stove in here to make it smell like hickory instead of baby powder. Excuse me. It was a bod pattern. I put it in, wasn't it the last live we did?
Yeah, in the description.
The last live we did before this one here, Miss Kitty put it in the description box.
Because I am magic.
For me, but I can do it for this one too if you don't want to try to get from the last live that I did.
Oh boy. Which means that's technically my job.
But yeah, she put it in there. It don't really have a name. She didn't name this pattern, but it is really easy to do. I used almost 2 full skeins of Red Heart Ombre Will you hand me that partial over there? And yeah.
So just throw it.
Yeah, that's fine. And this is all I had left of the second one. To make it this size. And I made it a little bit longer than what she made it. I think her stitch count was 162 or something like that in there. But I wanted it a little bit longer, so I kind of did, and I'm kind of short armed, so I just did a little bit longer than my arm length. Not by much. Maybe about a finger's length longer. Than what. Because I did one exactly to her count, and to me, it wasn't long enough to be used as a shawl. But sometimes I do my stitches too tight. So I think that might have been what happened, was I did my chain stitching too tight. And, hello. And this one I did a lot looser, but it is really fast to work up. And she said it was, I think you use 8.
I would like to sit down.
8 is your, you can sit on the yarn.
I would prefer to sit on the yarn.
What do you call it? Shoot. 8 stitches is your count. But you'll have to look at her video. Like I said, she didn't really name it. She just said it's you can use it. She basically generically,
What, cat fur?
no, yarn fuzz. Basically you can use it for a shawl, you can use it for a throw, you can use it for a blanket. It's such an easy stitch that she, some of her stuff that she does, that she puts out, that you can use for multiple uses. And so that's one of her stitch patterns that she has.
Where are you trying to go?
And Crystal is really Bago Day. Crystal, she's so easy to follow. I love doing a lot of her patterns.
Your nose is dry.
She was sleeping. You just woke her up.
Well, I wanted cuddles.
The poor baby wants the sheeps.
Well, I want cuddles. If she would cooperate, she could sleep in my hood.
Yeah.
If she won't cooperate.
Are you getting mad at her? Huh? We want sheeps. You want to say hi to everybody? No, you just want to go to sleep. Poor kitty. Can I hold Mandy for a minute?
Fine. Fine. If she'll cooperate, that is. She's trying to pull away. She says no.
Oh.
She says no.
Okay, man.
She angry.
What?
She
What
angry.
you get mad at me for? Huh?
How's idea?
What you get mad about, huh? What's she doing? What's Miss Kitty doing? This is Miss Bandy.
Will you behave if I give you these?
Oh, what she got?
Will you behave if I give you these?
What she got, Miss Bandy? She loves her treats.
She's drooling. I can see it.
Are you drooling? She says, well, come on, give it to me. You owl cat. We call her owl cat. She turns around. Almost all the way backwards just to get her treats.
Okay. No.
You gonna say hi to everybody?
See, nah, I'm worried about the food.
Hmm.
Wait,
Are
no
you
more.
happy? Are you happy, kitty? Huh? Are you a happy kitty now?
Can we give her catnip?
No.
Why not?
I'm not getting her all hyper before
catnip-
bedtime.
Catnip fun. Oh, and now she's angry again.
What are you mad about? You just got treats? Oh, you're a fat cat. Oh, you need to go on a diet. Oh, no.
She's looking at me for help. She says, please help.
Go say hi. You gonna say hi to everybody? You gonna say hi? No? You go say hi? You just gonna get mad at me, huh? Oh, I will be doing,
She likes the shoulder.
I will be doing a giveaway soon, because I have finally, reached 400 subscribers. So thank you all for your support. I don't know when I will get it up, but I will get it up soon. Going to be doing a set of stitch markers that is made by me and Miss Kitty. Hi, Angela. Welcome in. She says, hi, Christy and Miss Kitten and everybody in the chat. I am doing fine tonight, drinking water and working on my scrappy blanket.
Your name's Christy now.
That's all right. That's better than what I've been called in the past.
Chastity.
Chair. Angela, I got my shawl done. This was a prayer shawl that I had finished the other day. If I can unfold this. Oh, there it is. I folded it like a couple times. That's folded in half. Got that done the other day. I got it washed yesterday and let it air dry overnight. And it says one of Bag O' Day Crochet's patterns. Miss Kitty put it in the description box of the last live that we did for that pattern.
Well, okay. Hi. Hi to you too, Mom.
Well, thank you, Keith. Well, I wouldn't have got this far without everybody helping me out.
Hey, Mom. Hi to you too.
Well, thank you, Angela. Oh, you finally got her in your pocket. Okay.
No, she's inside, not in the
hoodie. She's inside
she's in the hoodie itself.
Okay. You're just full on in the hoodie, huh?
Yeah, she says comfy.
She climbed into Miss Kitty's
She's mad because I picked her up.
Hi. Are you comfortable? Is it warm in there?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Are you warm? She likes to do this to her. She'll climb up inside her hoodie all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get warm, especially when they're outside. More outside than she does inside the house.
Yeah, I'm getting hot now because she did this. Because I'm not only wearing a hoodie, I'm wearing a sweatshirt underneath. And then now we got this little stinker. If you're nice and warm.
She's actually several times put herself to bed. She's got a little cage over there. We have her sleep
your
in.
Paw, please. Your paw's not in a good spot.
We have her sleep in a cage at night because we don't have a litter box in the house. In the morning, we let her out, and then she'll go out for a while, and then she'll let us know when she's ready to come back in the house. Usually, she'll scratch on the door and let us know when she needs to go outside.
She's comfy. I don't know why she likes to do this.
My husband took pity on her and decided to let her come in during the winter. Hi, Joy. Welcome in.
I have a furry little beast in my hoodie. She's getting warm.
Now I was telling them, some of them, that I've lost a few. I will be doing a 400 subscriber giveaway because I finally reached 400. Yay! Took a while, a little over a year to get this far. But to thank everybody, I wish I could give everybody something, but
it's 400 people.
That's a lot. But I will be doing a giveaway soon.
I'm sorry I'm moving your tail.
I'm trying not to
squish your tail between my legs.
We will do a set of stitch markers made by me and Miss Kitty. And I have decided to, instead of doing yarn, shipping it out, I have a project that's done, and I don't think I've showed it on here that I've completed it. I've had it done for a while, and it's sitting in the other room, but it is a shawl. It's the Virus Stitch shawl, and it is done in the mandala yarn. Money would be fine. Just joking. It's a triangle shawl that I made doing the Virus Stitch, and it is mandala yarn that I use in the colorway Troll. And I think I used maybe 2, or was it 3? I don't remember how many. I don't remember how many I made, used, how many cakes I used. But I will use that as as a prize as well with the set of stitch markers. I'm trying my best to keep costs down as far as shipping stuff out, because I'm not working. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my husband is the only one that works, so he's the one that pays for the shipping. A lot of the yarn that I've been giving away as well is stuff that I've had here. I've been taking out of my stash, and it's not been any that I have. If I've won anything or gotten yarn from other people gifted to me, I have not give that away. I try to use that for something. I use it for me, or I use it for her, or little man.
She's comfy.
You ever go sheepies, huh? You gonna hide? Okay.
Apparently she's nice and warm. I'm getting hot, thanks to her.
She found a warm place to
Where are you
sleep.
going? You go like deep in there or something?
So that, be looking out for that. I will not title it giveaway. I will probably title it subscriber appreciation. So be on the lookout for that to be coming up soon. And me and Miss Kitty will probably we'll try to put our heads together and try to figure out a keyword for y'all to use, but it won't be in this video. I will get it done. It won't be done as a live. I will try to pre-record it and upload it.
But won't the winner, like the announcement of the winner, be live?
Yeah, we will do the announcement for announcing the winner for that as a live, but for putting the video for you to put your comments in will be a pre-recorded video, and I will show the shawl then, and I won't show stitch markers because we don't make those until we find out who the winner is.
Because we ask them for favorite colors.
And we try to make it with your favorite colors.
Oh, hello. Welcome back.
What,
am I moving? Am I moving on you?
You want to go to your bed? Or you want to go lay on the couch? You like the couch, don't you?
I can go let you out. Or you just want to say hi? Because I know you really like it in here. It's real nice and warm.
She seems to be getting mad at you, though.
Probably because I'm moving.
Shaking her?
Yeah, because...
Or she wants to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I heard the other night. You not hear it? Sounds like somebody talking upstairs.
No.
Okay. I must be hearing things. I'm going crazy, apparently.
Hi.
It sounded like somebody was talking upstairs, which little man is asleep up there.
He could be sleep talking because he does that sometimes. We had a whole entire conversation while he was sleeping. It was funny. I could tell the story. But
no, apparently he gets that from me. My husband says that I talk in my sleep. So,
you're out now.
All right. Do you want to do wrong answers only thing?
I was hoping to tell the story of our entire conversation we had while he was sleeping.
Okay.
Because it was quite an interesting story, because he was dreaming, but he was also standing up and moving during this time, because he was sleepwalking at the same time. It was quite funny. So, it was getting ready to be his first day at school. For the first time, he was going to kindergarten for the first time.
Okay.
And he was excited. So, he was like getting up, and he was talking about making breakfast.
Yeah, we're going to sway a little bit more.
So I asked him, what are you making for breakfast? And he replied with pancakes. I'm like, not bad. Pancakes are good. I said, what are your ingredients for pancakes? And he had first off, it started normal, like how you would have normal ingredients for pancakes, and then it got wild. I'm like, are these just toppings? I hope so, and I hope they're like made out of chocolate or something. Otherwise, you're going to break your teeth.
What were they?
Well, he had like the first like your regular flour, eggs, and stuff.
Okay.
And then he said tanks. And I was like,
that would be
what?
Really hard to put in a pancake.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, what else? And he kept listing different things. I'm like, I hope these are made of chocolate. And they're small.
Was he walking into the wall when he was telling you?
Yes, he was walking into the wall.
Standing up in his bed while he was asleep. He was sleepwalking and talking in his sleep.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa. We're talking about little man. She was telling a story about him
It was funny.
Talking in his sleep and sleepwalking at the same time.
Yeah, he was facing the wall, standing on his bed, just constantly walking into the wall, not going anywhere. So he made this lovely breakfast of pancakes that had tanks, army men, and like cars and all this other stuff in it. I'm like, I hope this is made of chocolate. If so, how's this supposed to fit in the pan? And if you actually managed to do that, that would break your teeth. So he ate his breakfast. He actually sat down for that. He stopped walking into the wall and sat down.
And pretended to eat breakfast.
Yes. His hands are really up against the wall. I'm like, what am I witnessing? This is hilarious. This went on for a good while. But he just kept reenacting. He was like reenacting actually going to school. He tried to give hugs to people, which was just the wall.
Okay.
It was weird, but funny to see. I'm like, what? I'm like, I wish I had a camera of some sort to record this, because this is hilarious. Because this sounds unbelievable, but it was hilarious to see.
No, I didn't get a whole lot of crocheting done today, because
You went to
I went to town, had a chiropractor appointment and stuff, but also later when I got back home, before little man got home from school, I was in his room and I stripped his bed down and did some cleaning, remade his bed, and then came down here. Miss Kitty ate lunch, a really late lunch, and then I started the fire, and then fixed me a quick lunch, and then I had to go get little man off the bus, and then do some other running around, and then fix dinner. So I didn't get a lot of crocheting done today. I basically only crocheting I've done today was this morning waiting for the bus in the car, and which was not very much. But anyway, that was quite the interesting story about little man.
Oh, that wasn't all. It got even weirder. He
Well,
tried to play tag at recess, and that was fun to see. With him trying to tag the wall. He wouldn't ever turn. He was just constantly facing the wall, which I thought was weird, because I've moved around more when I was sleepwalking. His eyes were open the entire time.
One of my sisters that I used to share a room with, she talked in her sleep. And one night, she woke me up, and all of a sudden she hollered, "Get blah, blah, blah. There's a critter in my bed." And I literally could not understand what she said to get, other than those words were spoke very plainly, was "get," and then "there's a critter in my bed." And I said, "You want me to get what?" And she said, "Get blah, blah, blah. There's a critter in my bed." I mean, it was just gibberish that she said to whatever it was she was trying to tell me to get. And I said, "What in the world? What kind of critter is in your bed?" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You asked me to get something because you said there was a critter in your bed, but I can't understand what you want me to get." And she said, "I didn't tell you to get nothing. Shut up and go to sleep." I said, "Okay." So I laid back down and I went back to sleep. The next morning I asked her, I said, "What in the world, what kind of critter was in your bed?" And she said, "What?" I said, "Well, you told me to get something, and I asked you," I said, "What was it that you wanted me to get?" And you said, you repeated it. You said, "Get blah, 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 blah. There's a critter in my bed." And I asked you again, and you kind of looked at me and said, "I didn't tell you nothing. Go back, shut up and go back to sleep." And I rolled over, went back. She died laughing. She said, "I don't remember none of that." I said, "Well, I guess you were talking in your sleep, because I said, you blatantly, you said, get something. I said, whatever you were wanting me to get, you were gibberish. And then that there was a critter in your bed. And then you just told me to shut up and go back to sleep." So I was like, okay.
I've walked several times.
I've
tried to decorate the Christmas tree. When it was already decorated, I told Mom that we needed to decorate the Christmas tree, and I tried to put her bracelet on the Christmas tree.
That was funny. That was when we first moved here. That was the very first Christmas that we moved here.
I guess I was excited because we had a big tree this time.
Yeah, because we usually had
a tiny tree.
Just a little, as we lived in a double wide trailer, didn't have a whole lot of room, so we just had like a 3-foot tree that sat on the table. And so that was the first time these guys got to have a full
Christmas tree.
Full-size Christmas tree. And so, yeah.
Which apparently there was another time. Me and little man were still sleeping down here, and you were in here because you weren't in the room. But it was a Friday night, if I remember correctly. And I guess I was having a nightmare or something. But I walked into your and Dad's room and asked Dad if I could sleep with you guys, which you weren't even in the bed. And he told me, no, go back to bed. So I just went back to bed. And he asked me the next morning, do you remember asking me if you could get in the bed? No. I remember dreaming about animals, but I don't remember doing that.
Hi, Ellie. Welcome in. We're talking about weird sleepwalking and talking in our sleep and stuff. I don't think I've ever did any sleepwalking that I know of.
Sometimes you could just randomly get little man to sleepwalk. Or not sleepwalk, talking to sleep, just by asking him random questions while he's sleeping. You can ask him like questions like, what's your dad's name? Or who's your favorite parent? Who's your favorite grandparent, favorite aunt? And he'll tell you in his sleep. And one time I managed to find out where he was hiding something just by asking him while he was sleeping. It was hilarious because he wouldn't tell me because he didn't want me to find it. Because apparently it was really embarrassing. It was something he had like written down, but it was like in pen. So he hid it. And instead of throwing it away for some reason. But I forgot what was written down because it was quite a long time ago. But I asked him where it was, and he told me where it was, and I went and found it.
Well, I had a friend that, a guy that I went to church with in a youth group. He was kind of a wild kid, but his parents made him go to church and youth group. And anyway,
I have a few of those in my family.
Apparently he would tell on himself in his sleep.
I managed to get little man to do that. I would ask him who really did this, and he would rat himself out if you asked him. It was funny.
Well, his parents wouldn't be, he slept in the living room or the next room next to the living room. And they would be in the living room watching TV, and then he would start talking. And one night they turned the volume down on the TV or muted it and just listened to what he was saying. And he literally was sitting there in his sleep while he was just apologizing to his parents for everything he did wrong that day. And he knew that he had done wrong. But he didn't know. I don't know if they ever told him that he did this, because she told me about it, that he would tell her at night in his sleep if he did anything wrong. So
that's funny.
So she learned a lot of stuff about him. While he was sleeping. He had no idea that he was telling his parents everything he did wrong the day before. And she said the first time they learned it, they just sat there and laughed, because she's like, oh, hey, what did you do? You can't punish him because he didn't know that he even told you that he did something wrong. She said, we just had to kind of laugh it off and whatever, But they did finally get him a room of his own built. But but yeah, he would tell. She thought it was funny, but yeah, she told me, she's like, I didn't know what to do, because he didn't even know that he had told me in his sleep that what he done wrong that I didn't even know about. I didn't see him do it, but he was apologizing. And she said the funny part was he was just like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. And I did this and I did that, and and she's like, sometimes her and her husband just kind of looked at each other like, you did what? And you know. It's just that some of the stuff he was apologizing was funny. But anyway.
Well, little man would never apologize. There was one time I got in trouble because he hit me and you told me if he hits me, hit him back. So he'll learn not to do it. But
I guess I forgot. But I had told you.
So I hit him back and then he's fake crying because I didn't hit him hard. And he went running to you saying that I hit him. And then I got in trouble because he lied saying that I hit him first. And he never hit me. So I got in trouble, and later that night after he was asleep, because I knew he would sleep talk sometimes, if you'd ask him questions. So I asked him the question, who hit who first? And he says, I hit Sissy first. And he sounded so sad. And then I said, are you sorry for it? And he says, no. I'm like, what? You sounded so sad that you did it. And then I ask you if you're sorry for it, and you just, no. What?
Hi, Geigo. Welcome in.
You sounded so sad, but you're not sorry at all. Okay.
One that my husband had told me about. He said, usually when I talk in my sleep, Daigo said hello.
I was trying to read everything. Hi.
She says, hi, my beauty, sweetness. Kitty.
Yeah, I know. It just kind of threw me off.
It's most of the time when I talk in my sleep, I kind of mumble and he can't really hear exactly what I'm saying. But one morning we got up, was getting ready for work and stuff, and he said, this was when I was still working at Walmart, and he says, who in the world is Tammy? I said, what are you talking about? He said, who in the world is Tammy? And I said, well, the only Tammy I know is somebody that I work with. And he's like, I said, why? He said, well, you were talking about Tammy in your sleep. And she said, she can't spell. Must have been a mistype. This is my beautiful, sweet Miss Kitty. Okay.
It's okay. I fail to spell sometimes too. And then we have auto incorrect.
Yeah, we'll chalk it up to that. That was auto incorrect there, Daigo. Auto incorrect kicked in for you. But anyway, and I said, well, what in the world was I talking about? He says, well, I don't know really, but he says, all I know you were saying, Tammy, that's so funny. Ha 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 ha, that's so funny, Tammy. You just kept saying Tammy over and over and laughing, and that was so funny. And I was like, I don't remember any dream that I had, and really don't remember talking in my sleep either. And I went and told her about what my husband told me, and she said, I love you dearly. Please don't dream about me no more. I said, well, I didn't even know I was dreaming about you. Apparently she was telling me some funny jokes.
Yeah, most of the time I don't remember my dreams, but if I do, I'm kind of worried. I'm like, why do I remember? No, I normally don't. If it's a nightmare, then I remember, because I got woken up from it.
Hey, so most of the time I kick him more than anything. Because he'll roll over and try to put his arms around me, and if I'm too hot, I'll kick him away. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm asleep. I don't know I'm kicking you. I'm sorry.
I slapped a little man in the face one time while sleeping.
Your dad backhanded me in his sleep one
time. That's
time.
what I did. He was, it was like real cold, and we were still sharing a room, and he had crawled in my bed, and we were kind of laying back to back, and I went, whoomp.
Yeah, it was the first year we were married. Your dad, he didn't tell me till we had been married several years before he had told me that he had done it in his sleep. Hi, Ivy. How are you? But it was the first year we were married. I think it was within the first 2 months or so. He rolled over and he said he backhanded me pretty hard. He said it was really loud, and he went like that, and he looked over at me and just like waited for me to respond. And he said, "You didn't move or nothing. You just stayed there." And he said, "You didn't have a bruise the next morning," so I didn't say anything. I didn't find out till years later that he had done it.
Oh no. Like I said, I had a bad dream last night, which left me a bit
sorry,
depressed
Daigo.
for the rest of the day.
I hope you have better dreams tonight.
Yeah, I had a bad dream one night that I came downstairs because I got woken up from it, and you could ask Mom. I came down in tears because apparently I was crying while I was still sleeping, but after I woke up, I was still crying because it was real sad of what happened.
I had one about her one time that it really messed me up. It scared me so bad. It was so realistic that it freaked me out that I kept checking on her all day that day.
You wouldn't go like anywhere. Like the only time I could actually have privacy was if I had to go to the bathroom. Like if I went outside, you went outside with me. Yeah. If I was in the living room, you was in the living room with me, or you would like hang out in the kitchen and just kind of every time, like when you could actually stop, when you're cooking and you actually have a point where you can stop stirring, you go okay over there. I'm perfectly fine, Mom.
And my husband finally asked me that night. He's like, "You're acting weird. What in the world's wrong with you?" And I finally told him what had happened. And I told him, I said, the dream was just so realistic. I said, but it was like a futuristic type dream. And
like it was a vision.
It was so vivid, but it was about her. And I kept talking about her to people, and everybody kept like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you talking like this?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And finally they're like, "Well, your daughter is not alive anymore. She died in a car wreck like 2 years ago." And I went, and I mean, that's when I woke up, and I literally cried in bed. And it scared me that bad. And the next day, that morning,
came in my room and checked on me.
I went and checked on her. And usually my husband's the one that gets the kids up in the mornings because he's better about getting up in the mornings than I am. I'm not a morning person whatsoever.
You're a night owl.
And so he knew something was up when I went up there and checked on her myself. But it really scared me.
So I didn't have really any privacy that day. I was constantly being watched.
I kept a close eye on her. I kept giving her hugs. And she kept looking at me like, "What is wrong with you, woman?" Like, she thought I lost my mind.
Part of me wanted to stay. I wanted to say, "Stop touching me, please. I am concerned.
But
you need therapy."
That dream was so realistic to me that I was just, it freaked me out.
Then I thought my daughters were staying, like chit-chatting, but they were both
sitting on their bed in the dark playing
a board game.
What? Playing a board game in the dark. Okay.
Me and Little Man have done that. me and Little Man have done that. We were sitting in the dark and we played a board game.
Oh no. Sorry, Miss Digo. Prayers. But yeah, that dream really scared me. And a lot of my dreams I don't remember. 'Cause a lot of it's because I stay up so late, I guess,
And you
and
get so tired.
I'm so exhausted that I really don't remember in my dreams at all. But that one, it scared me so bad that I remember that one so vividly. But like I said, I kept talking about her and everything, and everybody was just like, at first they start kind of acting weird around me, and then, and then they start whispering, and it's just really weird, kind of thing. And then finally, I was like, what in the world's going on? Why are y'all acting so weird, And they're like, and for some, and at that point, she wasn't the age that she was, because she was old enough to, in that dream,
Old enough to drive.
she was old enough to drive, actually adult age. And, but like I said, it freaked me out so bad that I kept an eye on her all day, and she thought I had lost my mind.
I never really said much. I wanted to say, can you stop touching me?
I kept giving her hugs all day long and stayed close to her. She sat on the couch. I was right there next to her.
And I'm just kind of,
She was
okay. Normally you're over there. Well, I like to sit on the end closest to the TV, and normally she's all the way on the other end, but she's like sitting on the cushion right next to me, like, what you doing over here?
No, yeah, that dream really, really freaked me out.
One time,
when I finally told my husband, he was like, yeah, I think that would freak me out too. He says, actually, you handled it a lot better than I probably would have if I had a dream like that. And it really scared me. I said it was so realistic.
Honestly, I feel if Dad had that dream, he would tell me I wouldn't be allowed to drive ever.
He wouldn't even try to teach you to drive.
He's like, no, I ain't letting this happen.
But
honestly, when you finally told me about that dream, I'm like, and you're still letting me drive?
Dad's the one that lets you drive, not me.
Well, you never say anything because my uncle taught me how to drive the 4-wheeler, so I can drive the 4-wheeler. Yeah, but we go on the road sometimes when we're not supposed to. We are speed. We go into like 4th, 5th gear.
If you don't go far distances and you're going to another place close by, they don't mind. It's just the continuously driving on.
Yeah, no, we were just heading back to the house.
Yeah.
Because when you have like 2 4-wheelers going, the path to get down to the field area, it's easier to go down than it is to go up. So when we're going back up, we usually take the main road. Yeah. If there's not a lot of people going through, which is usually like during the week.
It's more of a, you're not just continuously riding up the road with a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
Well, just a quick, 5-minute up the road, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. Let's see. Now, this one wasn't sleepwalking or anything, but when we first moved to Virginia, this was before I was married and everything. We moved out here in Virginia from Missouri, and me and one of my sisters shared a room. And we used to share a room when we were young, a lot younger. And then when Mom had I'm one of 6 girls. When I was 15, my mom started all over with the 2 youngest ones. I'm one of the middle kids. There's 3 under me and 2 older than me. But the 2 youngest ones, she was getting ready to have the youngest one. And we were in a single wide trailer, and it was a 3-bedroom trailer. And at the time, the almost 2-year-old was in their room, and me and the other sister that's 3 years younger than me had our own rooms at the time. But because she was getting ready to have another one, she needed the 2-year-old to go somewhere. And because I was the lighter sleeper, she got stuck in my room. But anyway, so we hadn't shared a room in so long. But when we moved out here in Virginia, it was a 3-bedroom house, and my mom asked me and my sister that's 3 years younger than me, which room do you guys want? And we were like, okay, we want this one because it's over here by itself, and you guys can have that one, and the little ones can be in the bedroom behind you guys, and you can have a closer eye on them. Because when we moved here to Virginia, the youngest was almost 2, and then the other one was almost 4. And but anyway, so they shared a room. And so me and my other sister ended up sharing, and we'd shared a room. And so I wasn't used to sleeping in her room or in the room with her. And I had to get used to her gritting her teeth, and that drove me nuts. I used to sit there and smack her pillow when she'd start gritting her teeth. And I mean, she would just it drove me crazy.
Little man will do that sometimes.
But I scared her one night. I got so agitated with it. I woke her up several times, and I had enough. I just went full on, just wham, smacked the pillow just as hard as I could, and she jumped up and was like, what? Like there was a fire or something. I startled her that bad. But this time it wasn't me that scared her. Our neighbors had actually moved next. They used to live in the house that we had moved in, and they moved like right next door to us. And they had a cat.
You've already told me this story.
And they would let him out during the day, and sometimes he wouldn't come in at night, and when they were ready for bed, so they would take one of the rooms in particular, they would crack the window open just enough for him to get in and be able to get back in the house without them letting him in, because he was out doing something. And so he could get back in the house if he wanted to. And they forgot to leave a window open in their new house, and he got left outside, and they'd already went to bed, and she woke up just like, all of a sudden she's like, ah! And it woke me up. I was like, what the world's wrong with you? And she's like, that. And she pointed at her window, and this cat is hanging on the screen like this, and all just wide-eyed, just staring in the window at us. I started laughing so hard because this cat's just all 4 legs, just bright-eyed. I don't know. I just died laughing. She looked at me. It's not funny.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. She looked over. She said, Radar, you get over there. She smacked the window. He finally jumped off of the window, but it was so funny. Because it was this black and white cat. And you can only see like the white parts in his eyes. And he's just like, hanging on the screen, just like, yeah. And I died laughing. It took me probably 30 minutes to go back to sleep. I was laughing so hard. She just, Okay.
it?
She kept telling me, that's not funny. I said, yes, it is.
Mama, you want it?
Not right now. You can get me a water if you would, please.
Throw the water.
Good night, Joy. I hope you have a good evening. Get you some rest.
Bandit, it's just water.
But yeah, it was so funny. And we told the neighbor what happened. She laughed and she says, I'm so sorry. She said, we forgot to leave a window open for him to get back in. And she said that was the window he usually would get in when we lived there. And I guess he already checked over there where we were at. He couldn't get in, so he decided to check your house. And he still couldn't get in. But yeah, it was funny seeing this cat just hanging on the screen and wide-eyed, just staring in at us. And one of the things that she had told us about this cat, he was a very, very unusual cat. He did not let any stray cats or dogs in the yard. If he knew that there was any other animal that was there, that if it wasn't, if it was another cat besides him, and they had 2 dogs, and I can't remember what the names of their dogs was. They had 2 labs. They weren't full-blooded labs, but it was a male and a female, and he tolerated them. But if there was any other dog besides those 2 in the yard, that cat would chase those animals out of the yard. And she said her husband was on the phone. And for a long time, they would leave. They had a sliding glass door in one of the rooms, and there was a small patio deck piece out that back door. Well, they would leave the screen door shut so that he could get fresh air in there, and because he liked to stay in there at night. And they would get up in the mornings and that screen door was down on the ground. And they couldn't figure out why the screen door was down on the ground in the morning. And her husband would fix it. He was on the phone one day during the day. And the cat just started going ballistic. And he couldn't figure out what the world's wrong with this cat. And he went to let him out, because he went to the door for him to let him out, and he opened the glass door, and before he could open the screen door, the cat took off back behind him and just all said thump. He took full charge and knocked that screen door down. And he said, before I could blink, he said that cat was chasing after that dog and actually jumped on the back of the dog. It was some stray dog that was in the yard, and that cat was holding on to the back of that dog, just riding across the yard, holding on to the back of that stray dog, and that dog was just, through the yard running off. He would not let any strays in the yard whatsoever, and he said, never did see that dog again. He said it was the funniest thing you ever seen. The cat just holding on to the back of that dog. The dog just took off running with the cat holding on. But he finally figured out why that screen door was down on the ground sometimes, because he would see animals and he'd knock it down just to get out. And so she said they quit leaving it open at night, or at least that glass door. They quit having to. So he wouldn't tear up the screen. I think they ended up. I don't remember having a screen door on it when we lived there. So he probably tore it up or they just took it off. One. Oh. But he didn't like very. He would let you pet him when he wanted to be petted, but when he was done letting you pet him, he would bite you. And so I tried to leave him alone. The only person that he really tolerated was this lady's husband. He never bit him ever. She said he would bite her. So she, and he come up to me one day and just wanted me to pat him, and I started patting him, and she said just about the time she was going to tell me to watch out, he bites, when he's done letting you pet him, he'll bite you. And he just went like he didn't get me. I moved my hand out of the way just in time, but she was like, "Did he get you?" I said, "No." She said, "I was just getting ready to warn you." And he turned around. But yeah, he only tolerates you to pet him for so long. But
He chose violence.
Let's see. Another one of my sisters, she used to sleepwalk, and we found that out when we moved to. Yeah. He only loved one person, really loved one person. And if he wasn't around, he would tolerate other people for just a short amount of time. Especially if he wanted a little bit of attention. And then when he was done with that attention, he would let you know.
He said, "I'm done. Stop touching me."
So he would only let you or tolerate you for just a little bit. But for the most part, he left us alone. He'd done his little, he didn't try to attack us or anything. It just startle us in the middle of the night while we're sleeping. It scares us half to death. But that was the only time he ever did that, though. But it sure was funny waking up having that cat on the window. But anyway, one of my the 4-year-old, when we first moved out here to Virginia, the sister that was 4, I guess because she was so used to sleeping in my room with me, she would get up in the middle of the night, have to go to the bathroom, and she would come and see us. And sometimes she would just come in there and climb in my bed and go to sleep in my bed. Because before we moved, me and her shared a room, and because I was the lighter sleeper. So if she needed something or if she wasn't feeling good or whatever, I could let Mom know. But the sleepless nights when I was in high school, and the kids at school, they were like, "Why in the world are you so tired?" I was like, "Look, y'all just don't know. Sharing a room with a 2-year-old is not fun when you're a teenager." Let me tell you, it makes good birth control, though. Makes a teenager not want kids.
Good.
At that age. But she was one of those, and I don't know if she's still like this or not, but she was one that didn't like anything to disturb her sleep. And so literally having to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, she hated that. I would wake up to her sitting on the edge of the bed, just sitting there crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you? We gotta go party. You know where the bathroom is. Go. Get up and go. Okay. So she'd go down the hallway and she'd come back. And of course, she's all the way down the hallway. And then next thing I know, I hear all the way up the hallway. And then she'd get in her bed. And finally, she would go to sleep. And the crying would quit. So, I didn't get a lot of sleep. Not only that, one of my sisters, older sisters, had give her a toy that I absolutely hated.
Tickle me,
and she absolutely loved this toy. And she wouldn't go to sleep without this toy. Well, if it was a quiet toy, I wouldn't have minded this toy. But, oh no. Her favorite toy had to make noise. And she wouldn't go to sleep without it. And it was not Tickle Me Elmo, but Tickle Me Cookie Monster. I used to love Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. After she got that toy, I absolutely disliked Cookie Monster. Because she would go to sleep holding this thing. And you had to, I think, press his tummy or something. And whatever it was easily triggered. She would hug this thing so tightly that all you could hear was ha 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 ha. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ha 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 ha. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All night long. Until she finally let go of this thing. And then occasionally it would wake me up because she would roll on top of it. And my mom said, oh boy, we're going to have to replace the batteries in this thing
when they go dead.
And I looked at her. I said, the heck you are. She's like, what? I said, you do not have to listen to that thing at night. I said, you replace the batteries in that toy when they go dead. That child is sleeping in your room. And she's like, what? I said, you don't have to listen to that toy when it goes off at night. And I said, you replace the batteries in that thing after they go dead. I literally will bring her to your room. I don't care if she has to sleep in the floor, or I will put her in the crib with her sister. So you can hear that darn Cookie Monster going off all night long. And she laughed at me and she said, okay, we won't replace the batteries. I don't know whatever happened to that thing. I don't know if it made the trip out to Virginia or not. I really don't know what happened to it after that. But Mom didn't put any batteries in it. But my saving grace was at night when, hi Doris, welcome in. Every so often I would hear thump, ha 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 ha, oh boy, and I said, yes, that's the last time I have to listen to that tonight. And then I would finally get some sleep. And so that was part of the reason why I didn't get a lot of sleep either. And then if she got sick and coughing a lot, she would cry. And it was kind of funny in a way, because sometimes she would lay there and she'd cough a little bit and she, and then you'd hear her cough for a little bit longer, and and she'd do that for a while, and then finally she would just cry, and it would have to get up, and I'd go get Mom and say, hey, look, she's coughing real bad. Can you please give her something to kind of help her calm down her cough? Because she's crying now because she can't go to sleep. So Mom would give her something. But there was times that she would have nightmares, and sometimes she could get Mom to wake up and get her, and Mom would sit there and hold her for a little bit and then bring her back. But there was nights that she would go and Mom wouldn't answer the door. Mom didn't even know. She would tell me the next morning she didn't hear her. But she would come back crying. What's wrong? Mommy didn't answer. I said, well, what's wrong? I had a bad dream. Well, you want to lay here in bed with me? She said, yeah. So she would climb over me because I'd make her sleep close to the wall because I didn't want her falling out of my bed. Her bed had railing to keep her from rolling out, but mine didn't. So I was being her human rail. And so when we moved out to Virginia, she wasn't used to being in there without me. She had her younger sister in there, and so in the middle of the night she'd get up, go to the bathroom, and then she would come in my room and she'd climb up in my bed and go to sleep. And out of, I guess, habit. And but there was one night she'd come in there, and me and my sister that I shared a room with at that time, the older child, girl, we were sitting there playing a card game in our bedroom. We weren't in the living room where the TV was. Anyway, we were playing, I can't remember, might have been Rummy or Uno or something like that, Game of War, I don't remember. It was cards. It was playing cards. And we were sitting in the middle of our bedroom floor playing, had the lights on. Living room lights weren't even on. TV wasn't on, nothing. She come in there, and she looked at us and said, you girls make sure that you turn the TV off and turn the living room lights off before you go to bed. And we looked over at each other. We looked at her. And we looked at each other. We looked down and looked at our cards. And we looked and we're like, what TV? And we looked over because the living room was just outdoor and of our room. And we're like, the living room lights are off. And that's when we figured out that she was sleepwalking. And we just looked at her and we said, okay, but you need to go to bed. And she says, okay. And she turns and she climbs up in my bed. I was asleep in my bed. And later on, my mom got up and she's like, have you seen, I'm going to call her Alex, but she's like, have you seen Alex? And I said, and we yeah, pointed over to my bed. Both of us, me and my sister, were pointed at my bed, and she goes, oh, well, why didn't you make her go to her bed? I said, well, she came in here and told us to turn the TV off and make sure the living room lights were off before we go to bed. And I said, we weren't even in the living room, and the living room lights are off. And so we figured she was sleepwalking. I said, but we did tell her to go to her bed. And she said, okay, and just climbed in my bed. And I was like, well, you should have still got her up, made her go to her bed. And I was like, I said, I wasn't using it so at the time, so she's fine. Mom went over there, picked her up, and went and put her in her bed. But she would do that every so often. After she got used to being there, she quit doing that. She finally got where she stayed in her own bed. But for a few months or so, she would come in there and she'd climb in my bed with me. Because she was, used to us sharing a room. Which I kind of missed her too. So I kind of enjoyed having her once in a while in my bed with me. But, excuse me. And to today, she is one of my closer sisters. Me and her are really close together. Which I needed to call her, talk to her. I haven't talked to her in a while. So, probably, I might do that tomorrow sometime. Oh, yeah, next time you guys see me, I will have a different color. I'm getting my sister-in-law to dye my hair tomorrow. As
doesn't do blonde again.
My natural highlights are coming in. And yeah, I know I'm 43 years old, but when you've had gray hair since 16 years old, you kind of don't want that coming out yet. And I don't want to look like I'm 43 years old either. So I'm going to get and it's been a while since I've did my hair. This is some of it. Some reason I can't get rid of this blonde down here, which it's not looking as blonde in this, but this up here is my natural, and this is the colored down here. But I actually was blonde when I was little, and my husband kept asking me when these guys were real little, they had, really blonde hair, especially Miss Kitty. Hers is getting a little darker, but hers is more blonde than little man's. His really has darkened up this year. I just cut his hair, not yesterday, but day before yesterday. Buzz cut it, and it's gotten really dark. It was weird looking at his hair sitting on the ground out there. Had this little section over here was blonde, this little section over here, and all the hair in the middle was really dark brown. I told him, I said, you're losing your blonde hair, buddy. You're going to have dark hair like me and Daddy. Miss Kitty's still got pretty blonde.
It's starting. Mine is darkened up was because I don't ever go outside.
Yeah, you don't go outside much, so hers is starting to darken up.
Mainly because I don't go outside.
But her papa has blonde hair, or had. It's all gray now. He, in the wintertime, looks like Santa Claus because he grows full beard. And actually grows his hair out. Summertime, he cuts it short and shaves the beard off. He fussed at me for calling him Santa one year. And I sitting there and I showed Miss Kitty. I said, hey, Miss Kitty, look at this. This is what Papa looks like. He looks like Santa, don't he? She goes, yeah. And he chuckled. And I said, oh, it's cute when she says it, but when I call you Santa Claus, you get mad at me, huh? He's like, yeah. He said, but you're my daughter. That's my granddaughter. I said, oh, so granddaughter can get away with anything, but me, no.
Ooh. There's a story that my aunt and my uncle that really spoils me. Because if aunt says no, but you go ask uncle, he'll be, yeah, sure.
Yeah, she's got her uncle wrapped around her little big finger. One of her many uncles.
Oh.
Because I'm one of 6, and my husband's one of 7. So she's got a lot of uncles.
So we're going to come out on R, so we don't say, like, full names. And then Uncle D.
Okay.
Well, it's the first letter of their name, but
Yeah,
we're not going to
that's
say
fine.
the full name. So, apparently when I was little, I don't remember this, but they took me to the store because they were watching me. I can't remember for what reason, because they never told me. But they took me to the store, and I really wanted, apparently, a Mickey Mouse balloon.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got me the balloon, and the way I said it, apparently it was hilarious. They said if they had gotten that on camera, they probably would be, like, maybe $10,000 richer because of it if they turned it into, like, America's Funniest Home Videos. Because it was so funny. And there would be, like, random strangers who would purposely ask what I had to hear me say it. Because they thought it was hilarious.
Well, I can't even tell them what you called buttons on here.
YouTube would say, no.
It was funny. I wish I could tell you what she called them. But it was hilarious what she used to call buttons.
Yeah, the YouTube
When
would
she was-
say,
When she
Nah.
was learning how to talk.
Yeah, YouTube would demonetize us if we said what I called it.
One of my nieces, which is married into the family, was extremely embarrassed
Because I was sitting on her lap and pointing at him.
with what she was calling buttons.
Oh, it was even worse. Where it was in the same
And
spot of
at the time, she wasn't married into the family at that time. She was just dating my sister-in-law's son. And this poor girl, her future mother-in-law, was just dying laughing at Miss Kitty. And
practically on the floor.
this poor child was just beet red and just, like, almost mortified. She was trying not to laugh. She kind of saw some of the humor in it. But she was just, like, just absolutely mortified by what she was calling the buttons. She was greatly embarrassed. But her future mother, which is her mother-in-law now, but her she was dying laughing. My sister-in-law, she was laughing so hard she about fell on the floor.
I'm pretty sure you told me every time I said it again, her face just kept getting even more red.
Yeah.
Every time I said it.
Yeah, every time. And we're like, no, it's buttons. Yeah.
And then
she
I
would
said what?
say what she was saying. And, like, yeah, that's what I said. And we're like, no. Of course, my sister-in-law was over here dying laughing next to me.
I really wish we could say what I said.
It was hilarious. That would have probably made
America's Funniest Home
Funniest
Videos.
Yes, that would have made it too.
And yet they don't censor it on there when they say it.
Especially how red this young girl was turning with her saying this. And my sister-in-law sitting there dying laughing.
Well, sometimes Aunt R will take advantage of me with how Uncle D is I got him, like, wrapped around my finger.
Oh, yeah.
If Aunt R wants something, but if she asks him for it, most of the time he'll say no, but if I ask for it, it's like, okay. Like, one time she wanted ice cream, like, from Dairy Queen, because they didn't have any ice cream. Mm-hmm. And she asked him the day before, but he said, no, I don't feel like going out. But then she kind of pulled me upstairs and said, do you mind asking him if he would gladly go pick us some Dairy Queen ice cream up? And so I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I wanted ice cream, so I was fine with it. So I asked him if we could have ice cream.
Using a kid to get your way,
Hey, I mean, at least I got ice cream out of it, too. But he didn't get himself ice cream. He just got a milkshake, his favorite strawberry. He gets tickled to death when I ask for strawberry milkshakes because he's like, "You're like me and you like them." I'm like, "I prefer chocolate, but sure, whatever." I mean, they are good. I startled him one time because he picked me up, or either he picked me up or I was staying with him because I think you had to take Rachel somewhere. I can't remember what for.
So that day was gone all day long?
Yeah. And I was staying with David. For a break, he took me... for a break, he took me to Dairy Queen. And we ordered milkshakes through the drive-thru, and we were heading back home. And before we got back home, I had already sucked the thing down. There was nothing left in the cup. It was gone. And he says, "It's not even maybe 10 minutes away, and you're already done with it." Yep. It was good. Which I had to stop a couple times because I got a brain freeze because I was drinking it too fast. Yeah, sometimes R will use me to get something. I mean, she'll give me something in return if it's just something for her. Like either she'll share it or she'll give me something else in return.
Oh, some of you that weren't in here earlier when I was saying it earlier, we finally have reached 400 subscribers. Yay! I will be doing a giveaway soon. I haven't got it done yet. We will put up a video pretty soon. It'll be a pre-recorded video for you to leave your comment. I don't know what we're going to have as keyword, but we will. And what I'm going to be giving away is a set of stitch markers that me and Miss Kitty will make. You will get a frog stitch marker, and then the other 3 will be whoever wins will try to do your favorite colors. And so we don't make them until we find out who the winner is. And then the other item that I'll be giving away is a
We do have frog charms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got what?
A ton of them. You have over 100. I think you had
no.
gotten a pack that was over 100 of them.
I ordered them from Amazon. They were little. And it was
a bunch of them.
It was a pack of 70. And I was like, wow, really? Should I have ordered this many? But I've actually used quite a few of them. So.
But if you have favorite animals in mind, I can do patterns with animals. Like you could do flowers.
Well, if I have the stitch markers.
Well, if you have the charms.
Yes, the charms. Some of the charms are getting hard to find.
Yeah.
But
at one point we had foxes. I like foxes.
I had ordered these off of Amazon shortly after I started my channel.
I actually have a little yes, frog. I have a little fox charm because I wear chokers. I prefer chokers over necklaces, mainly because sometimes when I'm running, the necklace will go inside of my shirt. I'm like, oh, that's cold. No, don't do that.
And poor Freddy the frog got called a turtle because I like turtles so much.
Yeah, you kept calling Freddy the frog a turtle. I just wanted. I'm like, guys in the comments try to name him Turtle.
Giraffes and horses. Cool.
Horses are nice.
The other thing that I'll be giving away is something I've had for a little while. I think I might have had it done. I think I made it before I started my channel. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever showed it on my channel. But it's a shawl.
You're nice and warm.
That I made. And it's the Virus Stitch shawl. And I used mandala yarn in the colorway Troll. And it's rainbow colors based, kind of. she's begged for it, but she's got a shawl upstairs somewhere that she don't even use in her favorite colors, no less.
It needs to be washed, and I keep forgetting to put it in the dirty clothes.
Well, it's pink, gray, and white, I think.
No, purple.
No, that's the poncho.
Poncho. The shawl has purple in it too.
Really?
Not a lot, but it has some.
I don't remember it having purple.
I'm pretty
but
sure
I
it has
know
purple.
that your poncho has pink and purple.
Yeah, you like to steal it sometimes.
What's big enough for me?
Yeah, you had to put adjust it to where it would actually stay on me instead of falling down my shoulders.
I made her a bag-o-day, a bod. Everybody knows them as bod. The herringbone, I think, stitch poncho. Several. I had made it before I did the channel. But
there's a lot of things you made before the channel. But you put it on Facebook though. You kept using me as models for stuff.
Yeah. Well, you're better looking than me.
Also, I'm definitely better than Little Man. I almost called him Paimon. I mean, I could still call him Paimon here.
And yeah, I know you guys have seen this before. There's a bunch of movies here.
And we could potentially get copyright claimed
I'm covering,
if we didn't cover them.
Covering up the movies. So you guys can look at the pretty half-done blanket.
We got a bunch of gnomes. There's some that are not visible because we're sitting in front of them.
Those are Valentine's ones. I'll probably put the St. Patrick's ones up there next month. I need to see if they've got Easter ones.
We could put St. Patrick's Day Freddy up there. Because he's a bear.
I really like. Well, we'll have to trade out the St. Patrick's Day one because I got 4 of those.
Yeah, but we could put Freddy up there.
We'll have to trade them out every time we do one.
Just because I had a St. Patrick's Day fair.
I need to see if Dollar Tree has any of the Easter ones yet. I hope they got Easter ones. Because a lot of places have already put Easter stuff out now.
Cool.
Went to Walmart and they barely had any Valentine's stuff left over.
Because people go nuts.
Had a lot of stuffed animals, but they had hardly any chocolate left. Or candy, really.
Which
on half price at Walmart today.
I'm a big stuffed animal person. I love.
They had already took and condensed down their seasonal stuff and. Yeah, it's almost 1:00 in the morning. She stays up late.
My sleep schedule is terrible. After we had the lovely...
She gets her stuff done. She'll get it done.
Yeah, eventually.
She's homeschooled, so
I don't have to worry about it. I even do it do schoolwork at nighttime sometimes. Which Dad doesn't really like that too well.
She'll get her stuff done. She's homeschooled, so she's not really... They don't have her on set times. Her homeschooling is pre-recorded videos online.
So I can really do it at any time, as long as it's before 12 a.m.
Yeah, as long as she gets her stuff done for that day, they won't count it late.
Yep. As long as it's before 12 a.m.
And she's doing really good. We've got her doing Bob Jones
University, and I've done straight A's so far.
This year, yeah.
Last year was kind of but I was still learning how it worked, and how I was adjusting to how difficult it was.
Well, last year was your first one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last year was her first year of doing online homeschool.
Because I went to school for 6th grade, and last year was 7th, and this year's 8th.
But yeah, she did struggle a little bit of how to do it. I'm still learning how to do some of their stuff online too. And they changed it too.
They changed the system. I don't like the new system.
Because
with the old system with practice tests, I had up to I think 5 times It was either 5 or 3 times to redo it myself without having to ask. But now I have to ask to redo it, and it gets so annoying. Because I don't like pestering you when you're sleeping, so sometimes when you are sleeping, I'll just kind of reset it myself because I know how to do it. If it's a practice test. If it's a quiz or full unit test, I ask you first.
Well, one of the things that I don't like about this year's stuff, too, is last year I could go on my phone and actually grade her stuff.
But this year,
on my phone, and even download like the answer on my phone and stuff. But they've changed it this year to a new program, and it won't let me. I can view her stuff, but I can't
grade it.
I can't, type in any of the grades or submit. It won't even give me the choice to do that. I have to go on my Chromebook and do all the grades on there. Review her tests and stuff like that. Hi, welcome in, KK Crochet. Cool. I like that. KK Crochet. Or K and K.
KK. I like KK better. It's easier to say.
Well, I said KK because of the jewelry store back in Missouri that I knew. Okay.
That's cool. We were going to play
my
wrong answers
stepdad.
only.
Yeah, well, we'll do that another time.
Well, we could do it.
Oh, it's getting late, girl.
And I'm not tired. I was taking naps today. Well, yesterday. It's yesterday now.
Oh, okay. Your daughter's name is Kristen. Okay, cool. KK is why the reason why I said that is my stepdad used to work for a jewelry store, and it was called KK Jewelry out in Missouri. And then when my mom and them moved back out there, she actually worked for them for a little bit. I don't know if she still does. And I do believe that store is still open out there. But she only did like part-time. What?
Snowy just shot up to the top and shot back down.
Oh.
I just kind of saw it. I'm like, okay then. Hello.
I forgot about the catfish named Snowy. I'm like, how in the world did your stuffed animal? How did you see it?
No, Snowy's not down here. I can go get Snowy if I know where Snowy's at.
She's got a
Pokemon stuffed animal that's named as Snowy.
Yeah. And I forgot the fish tank sitting over here. And
there's a white catfish named Snowy.
Yeah, it's little man's. He got it for his birthday, for his 9th birthday.
I'm honestly surprised they're still alive.
His grandmother gave him the tank. I'm
really surprised Striker is still alive. He keeps forgetting to feed him.
His grandma had got this tank for herself, and she wanted about 2 or 3 fish, but
then she started wanting more, so she had to upgrade to a bigger tank.
The only thing that they said that would really fit in there, or that many, was guppies, and she really didn't want goldfish. And
she has goldfish now.
But she wanted a bigger fish that she could see, because she's blind in one eye, and those little guppy things are little bitty teeny tiny things. She couldn't see them very well.
They like to play tag with each other. Constantly follow one of the big ones.
But she had some in this, and they didn't last. And so she wanted a bigger tank. So she went from a 3-gallon to a 20-gallon, I think.
It was either 20 or 10.
I think it's 20. I don't know. It might be 10. But she went to a bigger tank. Much bigger tank.
So she can hold more now. She has like a catfish. She had 2 of them, but one of them had just something wrong with it. It wouldn't move much, and it died. A lot of the guppies would.
It was green one.
Yeah, it was a green one, but then they had like the albino ones, which Little Man has an albino one. That's why its name is Snowy. Now the thing is, he said I could name Striker, and I wanted to name it Blueberry. But he didn't want a name like that. He was like, I want something cool, and I'm like, but you named the white one Snowy. Why can't we name the blue one Blueberry? Because it's blue.
Yeah. So,
but it really made no sense at all.
Yeah, this catfish, I think this light might be bothering him. Usually light, he goes crazy when there's light.
He'll like shoot up to the top. He'll swim around in circles and stuff.
I guess because he's an albino, so I guess that's what bothered. He likes the dark better. But yeah, this circle light's bothering him, so.
Striker likes to hang around the filter.
Yeah, he can't do it with this one now. This one's a lot different. We got a new filter. The other filter.
Where even is Striker?
He's in there somewhere. He's probably hiding in the. Yeah, he's hiding in the plant.
What you doing in your bed?
Yeah, Little Man has.
Why?
He wanted, which my husband had suggested betta fish, and we were almost going to get. We're about ready to get a goldfish for him,
but they're nasty.
And the catfish. That was the only type of algae eater they had, is the little catfish things. At the pet store we went to, and
then we found the betta
because we had went once before, and
but they didn't have any betta.
Well, we didn't see them.
Fair enough.
But man, my husband had mentioned that maybe if we did get him a fish tank, and we really weren't going to get this big of a fish tank, we were thinking of just getting him like a little bitty small thing for just one betta fish. But because Grandma upgraded to such a bigger tank, and she had this one, she cleaned it up and everything and wrapped it up for him for his birthday and said, "Here you go, happy birthday," and looked at us and said, "Now you can get him some fish for his birthday." Like, okay. But he actually ended up with almost $100 for his birthday. He made out like a bandit on his birthday.
I didn't get as much.
So he actually used his birthday money to buy his fish, and she gave him all the rocks that was down in here, and then the plant. It came with the filter system or filter pump thing, and she gave him a few extra filters. And we had to buy the bubbler and the air pump. He bought those. He bought the fish food, and he had to have a little something else to go in there, and he bought a pineapple from SpongeBob. SquarePants. He bought the little pineapple fish house.
He wanted Squidward's house, but it was a lot more expensive than SpongeBob's. So, but yeah, I am surprised that this fish is still alive. I think because her, and their dad kind of take pity on the thing and feed it once in a while. It's still alive.
This thing's, surprisingly still alive. But it's...
I would have figured it would have been dead by now.
He has a betta fish in there. It's really pretty. He's got a blue and black.
I think he was like a twin-tailed moonfish. I think is what it was.
Twin-tailed fantail fish, something. I don't know. Twin fin dorsal fin, something like, I don't know.
It was twin because it's like double.
Yeah, it's the
Fin.
fins underneath him.
Yeah.
Or double.
Yeah, I know.
But he's fantail as well.
I thought it was like a moon tail.
I don't remember.
Is what it was called.
Well, here, look.
It's on the.
It's on the container.
Okay.
Hey, okay.
Hey.
Twin tail, half moon. Okay. Yeah.
I was close. Half moon fish. I was closer than you. Ha ha. I knew I was close.
Yeah, we're still here.
Yep. I'm trying to convince her to let us play wrong answers only. But she's like, but it's late. I'm like, but I'm not tired.
But,
I gotta go, Charity and Miss Kitty. You guys take care and have a good night. You too.
all right, Ellie, you have a good evening.
Night.
Good night.
It's not evening anymore. It's like,
Or, well, for us, it's morning already, but
Yeah.
I don't know what time she's at.
it's like 1:05 in the morning for us. And I'm hyper because I just ate chocolate.
The original filter system pump that came with this tank went kaput, so I went and got a new one for it yesterday for him. Well, good night, Angela. Have a good morning, evening, whatever time it is, your time zone. It's morning for us.
Really early in the morning.
So we'll say good morning to you and good night if it's still nighttime for you.
I mean, technically it could still be considered nighttime, but it's also morning. It's... I'm trying to figure out a word for that.
You want to do wrong answers only?
Yeah.
You want to do the questions be answered, or you want me to ask you?
I don't know. I mean, the chat could also ask questions, but then they won't know the actual answers unless we tell them.
So you're same time as us? Okay. Well, good morning early and have a good night rest or whatever you want to call it.
But if the chat wants to ask us questions, they'll be fine too. But we can tell them the actual answers later. Except for names. We're not doing names.
Well, good night, Doris.
That's a good one to start off with. What's your favorite color?
Pink.
You hate that color.
Hey, we're doing a game of she's asking me a question and I answer wrong answers.
Yeah, she has to answer every question with the wrong answer, which I know the actual answers. So to me, it's pretty funny. The first question was, so what's her favorite color? Her response was pink. She absolutely does not like that color.
My favorite color is blue.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much any shade of blue, other than working for Walmart for, almost 14 years. I've kind of not liking navy blue so much. It's okay, but
it was fun when you had a giant
other colors.
It was fun when you had a target on your back.
Other shades blue.
It's fun when you had a giant target on your back.
Which actually they got a different shade of blue now that they wear. It's not navy blue anymore. I said, daggone it. I said, when I leave, they finally changed to a different shade of blue.
And their lovely little sun star symbol isn't just yellow anymore. It's rainbow.
Starburst is what they call it.
Starburst.
Or spark. No.
Spark.
It's the spark. It's the Walmart spark. That's what they call it.
It looks like a sun. At least it did when it was yellow.
Another question.
What's your name?
Sandy.
You had to think that long to come up with a name.
I was going to tell you my name.
I have so many names I could call myself right off the bat. But, what's your husband's name?
Mike.
How many children do you have?
5.
And what are their names?
Fred, Wilma, Pebbles,
Pebbles?
Bam Bam, and Dino.
And what's my name?
Okay, good night, Dago.
Good night.
Oh, hi, Andy. Welcome in.
And what is my name?
Michelle.
I'm fine with that. Not bad. That's fine.
Well, we're down to 1. Everybody's leaving us.
Yep.
We may have to call it a night, too.
Yep.
Well, y'all, I guess since we only got 1 in here. Oh, we've been on here for 2 hours. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to call it a night.
I kept snacking.
It's over 2 hours.
I had like apples with caramel, whatever you want to call it, chocolate.
It was good talking to y'all. I guess y'all have a wonderful and blessed day, as it's already early here for us. It's
We're probably still going to be up for a while.
morning,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I actually gotta go check on the stove here and check.
Yeah, but last night, you couldn't sleep, and then
anyway.
I couldn't sleep either. I was up till probably almost 3 in the morning.
Can we say goodnight and bye?
Sure.
All right.
I've had sugar and it's kicking in.
Everybody's gone now.
Oh.
Well, y'all have a wonderful and blessed day, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.